Oh, we are so back. Spring training is here, and the league's non-roster invitees get their chance to go out and prove themselves these next few weeks. The Royals are in a pretty wide-open AL Central, and I'm a firm believer that these four players I'm about to name can make a splash as NRIs this spring and make a splash as big leaguers in 2026. Blake Mitchell is where we begin. This is an important year for Blake Mitchell, even if he doesn't crack into the majors per se. Mitchell was the 8th overall pick in the 2023 MLB draft, and he's the team's number 2 overall prospect behind fellow catcher, the hometown kid in Carter Jensen, who debuted last year and became the second option as a backstop behind Salvador Perez, who has a couple of years left on his contract. Now, there's a couple of ways this plays out long-term, right? It's Blake Mitchell and Carter Jensen switching off behind the plate when Salvador Perez is gone, or Carter Jensen's bat gets moved since Mitchell's main strength has been what he can apply behind the plate. So Blake Mitchell's your catcher of the future. Jensen goes over to first or becomes an outfielder. We've seen this happen before. Either way, the bat has been lagging behind for Blake Mitchell, and a strong spring training would be huge for a guy aiming to shore up the offensive side of his game. Jose Cuas is second on our list. Hopefully this can be a situation where the Kansas City environment brings out the Jose Cuas that we saw a couple of years ago. He was rather productive with the Royals, but the productivity just tumbled over the course of the last couple of years. This could be for a variety of reasons, but I would argue his 3-degree arm angle is one that he's just struggled to be consistent with. Below average velocity obviously doesn't help in this case when you're also having trouble commanding the zone, and neither does below average extension. But the one thing Cuas has had going for him is the whiff rate. The guy is a reliever with 4 different options that dart all over the place. This all to say, I think the foundation's there. It's mainly about trimming down that sky-high walk rate, forcing weak contact, and getting opposing hitters to bite on what could be, again, a nasty arsenal. Brandon Drury is another name on this list, and you might be thinking, this guy was an everyday player not too long ago, right? Now he's an NRI? Correct. 3 years ago, to be exact, he appeared in 125 games for the Angels. Another once pure slugger, Drury's main issues have been just not squaring it up like he used to, even when he does make contact. The strikeouts honestly aren't awful, not a bad strikeout rate, but the exit velocity, the hard hit rate, and all those metrics implying that someone is timing up the baseball well and making good contact, they frankly weren't there in the 2024 season for a campaign where Drury hit well below the Mendoza line. 2025 rolls around. He has a strong spring training with the White Sox, but then Drury fractured his thumb, got released, and later on inked a minor league deal. Let's see if 2023 Brandon Drury, or even 2025 spring training Brandon Drury, is still in there. I think there's a decent chance. Last but certainly not least, you might remember Eli Morgan from I don't know, his 4 years with the division rivals in the Cleveland Guardians. From a rival's lens, Royals faithful got to see him grow up in front of their very eyes. His first year in the bigs wasn't pretty, but zoom ahead to 2024, Eli Morgan's age 28 season, and he was one of the more impressive relievers in the bigs. The 5'10" right-hander posted a sub-2 earned run average, struck out 34 hitters across 42 innings, and walked just 11. You'll take that. Then he went to the Cubs last season and got hit around, to say the very least. The chase rate was way above average, but his four-seam fastball was not doing it. Opposing hitters channeled in on it and hit .467 off of that pitch. Morgan's earned run average ballooned, and his 2025 stint in the bigs ended up being a rather abbreviated one. Eli doesn't throw extremely hard, as the fastball sits in the low 90s, the 91 to 93 range. But when Morgan is at his best, he's using that 3-pitch arsenal in its entirety and baiting hitters out of the zone. Let's see if he can do that effectively this spring and earn a seat on the Big League Royals squad. If you enjoyed this video and feel like you learned something from it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.